Hey guys, welcome to FunNGun. Got a pretty interesting one here for you today. This particular Smith Wesson revolver is 130 years old, making it the oldest gun in my collection and also giving it the coolest history. So we're going to go ahead and get into the history of this first, and if that's not something you're interested in, you can go ahead and skip to me opening the box and showing you the gun itself, but I do recommend checking out the history. It's actually pretty cool with this particular revolver. So we're going to go ahead and start off by showing you this is a letter or an envelope from the Smith Wesson Historical Foundation. And if you haven't ever checked them out, you can actually send in your information to your Smith & Wesson firearms, and they can send you back all of the information they can find in the Smith & Wesson documents that they have on these, or files that is. So that's actually pretty cool. I do recommend that if you have a gun such as this. It's a family heirloom or just something cool and old that you want to know more history about it. It cost around $100, and to me it was worth it. So let's go ahead and show you this here letter. This is the letter I received back from them when I sent in, and the blue squares on both of these just cover up my personal information. You're not missing anything there. So start off, it says, "Dear Mr. Weaver, the revolver you inquired about in your letter of recent date is a .38 double action. This model was introduced in 1880, manufactured until 1911, with a total production of 554,077 revolvers. It was designed to fire the .38 Smith & Wesson cartridge and was available in blue or nickel finish. During the first 29 years that this model was produced, 4 major design changes were made. These design improvements are now classified by collectors as separate models to designate the different variations from the original. The resulting 5 categories are simply labeled .38 double action first model through .38 double action fifth model. The revolver described in your letter is classified as a .38 double action third model. This model was introduced in 1884 and manufactured until 1895 with a total production of 203,700 revolvers. These were produced between serial numbers 119,001 and 322,700 of the double action or the .38 double action series. We have researched your Smith & Wesson or .38 double action third model, chambered in .38 Smith & Wesson, and company records indicate that this handgun was with serial number 288,418 was shipped from the factory on November 10th, 1893, and delivered to Harlett and Grammett Company in New York City. The record indicates that the revolver was shipped with a 3.25-inch barrel, nickel finish, and checkered black hard rubber grips. This shipment contained 20 units of this model in the above configuration. This revolver appears to have been refinished in its current gold and nickel finish and had the pearl grips added. We trust that the information provided will be helpful and of interest. Sincerely, Smith & Wesson Historical Foundation." Roy J. Jenkins, the historian that did the information lookup for this. So that's where this gun started off its life, in 1893. And really from 1893 until when my grandpa got this gun, I really don't know a whole lot about it. I will say that I was told that it was believed to be owned by the notorious gangster John Dillinger. I have nothing to prove that. That was just a story that was passed down with the gun over time. So like I said, I had nothing to prove that, but I will say that this gun, my grandpa acquired it somewhere in the 70s to 80s, and it was in his collection until he passed away in 93. And sometime after that, it ended up in a family friend's hands out in Texas. Spent a little time in Oklahoma until I reacquired it in early 2019. And I'll go ahead and show you right here. This is my grandpa's actual old logbook for his gun collection, and you can see right here that this Smith & Wesson, actually there's the serial number and everything. It was listed in his book as Smith & Wesson revolver with pearl handles. That's the only information I have from his collection. It's been marked out where it was acquired by my family friend. So this book's actually pretty cool. I mean, I could do a whole video on this book alone. I don't know how interesting it would be to a lot of people, because it just goes through just thousands of different guns and stuff that my grandpa's owned. As you can see here, he owned multiple 94s. I think I counted up, there's like 210 Winchester 94s alone in this book. But that's another whole thing in itself. So something you might be interested in, I guess you can go ahead and drop in the comments, and we can see about possibly making a book on this. Don't know exactly how interesting that would be to a lot of people. So let me go ahead and grab a pair of gloves here before we start messing with this gun. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that this box didn't actually come with the gun new. This is something that when my grandpa first got the gun, he had someone actually put together to keep this gun in, to keep it safe, since it is such a pretty gun. And as you can see, it's a pretty nice box. Got brass fittings on it and everything. Pretty wood finish here. And I actually have a special shelf in my safe that I actually made that stays up in the corner for this gun to sit on in the box itself. So if I can get a good picture of that, I'll go ahead and insert that in too, because this gun I have no intentions on getting rid of anytime, and it's going to be in my family until I pass away and somebody else does the family a dissolid, I guess. So let's go ahead and open this here box up and show you this pretty gun here. As you can see, this case actually got like a felt lining in it, and it's actually got a wood cutout underneath it for the gun to sit down into, so it doesn't move around. The top's padded, so real nice case. But that's not what we're here for. So let's go ahead and set this case off to the side and grab a rag here to keep this on something soft. I really try to baby this thing because it is quite a pretty gun here. Try not to handle it. As you can see, it's why we're wearing gloves. And as you can see, this particular Smith & Wesson, let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit here, get you a better look on this. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 3, 38 Smith & Wesson, as it said in the letter. This is a break top revolver. This is actually the only gun that I have in my collection that I've never fired and never will fire, because it is irreplaceable to me. So as you can see, that all of your parts that aren't the frame, or your main parts such as your screws, your trigger, your hammer, your latch here on the top that's actually got your cylinder, your rear sight actually made into it, are all refinished in gold. And we're going to be careful with it, but I will show you that this gun is fully functional. There's nothing that wouldn't let you fire it, I guess. It's got a little bit of wobble in the cylinder. It's 130 years old, and it has actually been fired. The only thing I've done to this gun since I received it is I just cleaned it up real well. It was pretty dirty just from sitting around and people handling it over the years, so I did clean that up and didn't want to get too carried away with it and accidentally scrub the gold or nickel finish off. But it's just a pretty gun. It's got real pearl handles on it, and I've actually also sent off and had the guy, I'm not 100% what his name is off the top of my head, but it's the guy that Rick from Pawn Stars uses to send in his information to value guns. And I sent this the information to this particular revolver in to him, and he come back and said that it was worth somewhere in the $2,500 range, which not really completely worried about the value, because like I said before, I'm never going to sell this. It's just going to stay in the family. It's just a beautiful gun. Have no reason to get rid of it. Just going to let it sit there on the shelf in the top of the safe and show it to people every now and then. But yeah, this is what custom guns looked like 130 years ago. This is what they did. You put you some nice pearl handles on there, did you some gold, and that's why I call this video Custom 130 Years Ago, because this is what custom work 130 years ago looked like. And well, that's all I have for you today. Okay, if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're looking for more FunNGun right now, you can click one of the 2 recommended videos there. If you're looking for more FunNGun later, you can go ahead and click that there subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. And if you're finding me from Facebook, go ahead and click that open app button at the top to make all that a lot easier, and I'll see you next time.